Okay, this is the 3-minute long siege settings video. Literally none of this matters. Audio. You gotta have night mode. Turn your music off because it's annoying. Field of view, it's personal preference. I play 70 because I'm blind and can't see. Classic rotation. Anything else, you're crazy. You gotta have gadget deployment and drone deployment on advanced. If you have vibration and trigger effect on, you're throwing, turn them off. Leaning behavior, you want that on alternate. And then controller layout, doesn't matter. It's whatever you want. And then you can have advanced controller options on. I have them on, but they're all 0 because I don't like it getting faster or slower ever. So that's about that. And then for your sensitivity, you want to have your dead zones. Your trigger dead zones should be 0 unless for some reason your trigger's set off too often, then you can raise it a little. Your stick dead zones should be as low as you can go without stick drift. Because if you get way up in the higher numbers, it's just going to feel like your stick's not going to be responsive, so you need to have it low. But don't go down to 0 because it's going to have stick drift no matter what then, even if you have a brand new controller. So that's about that, but I'll get into the settings. And finding your sensitivity, I can get into that. To find your sensitivity, you want to at least be able to do pretty close to a 180. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be snapping the same spot every time. You just want to be able to get pretty close to a 180, so if somebody's shooting at you from behind, you can whip around on them and get them. So, I think I'm on like 70. Yeah, so I'm on 70, and then for your vertical, that's really personal preference. You want it fast enough to where if someone was on a hatch and was up there and you were walking like this, you want to be able to get up to them. But you don't want to be so fast that it's inconsistent, because if you go like up into like the 60s or something, or like 50, you're going to be kind of all over the place, and you're going to like really snap around, and you're not going to be very accurate, and it's going to be hard to stay at head level. So I recommend I think like 30 to 20. Anything lower than 20 is going to be really slow. But I plan 25. And then for your ADS, it's really personal preference, but what I recommend is you come over here in the shooting range and you like go from here to here to here and then to here. And if you're like way past it, or you could find, I guess it doesn't have to be in the shooting range. It could be literally any object. You could say this to the stairs. And if you are like flicking way past the edge of the stairs, then it's too fast.
Literally.
And if you're like way too, like if you just if you can't even get to like right here, then it's way too slow. So that would be how I would get a baseline for your ADS at least. And then do that with 1x and 2.5, because 3.5 is basically the same thing. You could probably 3.5 a little faster than your 2.5, but most guns are 1x and 2.5x, so it doesn't really matter. But and then to like really get your aim like dialed in, you want to go to options over here. The time doesn't really matter. I just set it to a really long time, and then you want to have your target type on small ball, and then 4 of them, and then random. And then I would get a DMR with, I guess it doesn't matter. You do it with the 1x, you can do it with 2.5. It's probably good to do it with both, actually. You could probably do it with both to really get dialed in on both sensitivities, so you know what you're doing. So what you want to do is you want to begin And then you want to try to track one of them. You just want to try to track one and stay pretty close. I mean, the small ball is way smaller than a player. So, I mean, if you can stay within like an inch of it, you're pretty good. You'll be fine if you see any players. But like if you're just like way about in front of it or way behind it, then you either need to turn your sensitivity up or you need to slow it down. And then once you've really decided like, okay, yeah, I've got my ADS sense pretty good, then you can start, what you want to do is you just want to stand here. You don't want to be like walking around or anything. And you just want to try to get them. You just want to shoot them. Because then you can learn like where you need to shoot and how to move your optic and everything to flick between targets. This is I have not played yet today, so I am rusty today. But you just want to do that, and then you could switch the targets then if you want. You could switch to the dummies and practice tracking them or whatever else you want. But that's about the only way to. That's about the best way to figure it out. And then you just got to play. And then if you're playing and you're like, okay, yeah, I think I need to change this or that, then you can adjust stuff a little bit. But you don't want to be adjusting it anything crazy, and you also don't want to be changing it every other day. You want to leave it at something for like a week. Or just like, if you just miss a shot and you're like, okay, I think I need to turn my ADS down just by like, just turn it down by like 3 or something, or like 2 or 3 or 5. Like you don't want to be jumping from like anything crazy. Like, you don't want to go from, like, I think my ADS is, like, 25. You don't want, 23, okay. You don't want to go from 23 down to, like, 10. Because that is going to be crazy. I mean, you just want to go, like, if you're like, okay, I'm on 23 and it's a little too slow, you can go to, like, 25. Or if you're on 23 and you think it's too fast, you want to go down to, like, 20. You don't need to be just changing it like crazy.